landmark Century San Francisco. The movie theater at the downtown Westfield Mall will have its final showings tomorrow during the matinee.
Ahead of a big weekend at the box office, one of the last movie theaters in Ashtabula County has shut down.
Regal Cinemas may close all of its theaters here in the U.S., including 8 here in San Diego County as soon as this week.
Paragould Cinema 8 is set to close on this Thursday.
The Regal Jewel. Fox 44's Renako G stopped by the establishment one last time on its closing day.
A movie theater chain in the East has announced they will be closing its doors soon.
It is the end of an era here in Claremont. The city's only movie theater is shutting down.
Moviegoers making their final trip to the Regal Moline Theater. After today, it's going dark.
But now, New Haven's only movie theater set to close next month.
And the lights will dim at an Eastern Carolina theater for the final time tonight, leaving the community without a place to watch a movie on the big screen.
The next closest location is more than 70 miles away, and in fact, if you want to go to any theater, you'd have to either leave the county or cross state lines.
Sad news for movies out in Johnston. The AMC Theater has permanently closed.
For many here in Chesapeake, they remember seeing their favorite movie posters lining the Regal Cinemas here at Greenbrier. But now, like the rest of the theater, these displays sit empty.
A former movie theater in the St. Andrews area in Columbia will soon be a church.
It's set to close next month.
Closing its doors after Thursday.
That will be closing down after today.
Closing its doors.
And abruptly closed.
It's hard to believe.
That, more than anything, is a sign of the times.
Yeah.
As movie theaters continue to close nationwide, we're looking towards other pastimes such as video games. They've somewhat replaced movies at this point. Hollywood has kind of, they lost touch a long time ago. And it's not been getting any better. It's been reboot and remake and rehash, one right after the other. And it's just been a non-stop onslaught of just superhero movies, and everybody has superhero fatigue. Now, I already didn't care about that stuff. I'm very, much a snob when it comes to my media. I want good media. I don't want to just go to the theater and watch slop.
The Cinemark and CGV theaters in San Francisco, the United Artists Theater in Berkeley, and now the Albany Twin. The list of movie theaters going out of business, leaving the Bay Area, is growing.
Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year.
Chagrin Cinemas are showing their final movies this weekend after more than 3 decades.
The nation's second largest movie theater chain announcing it is closing 39 more locations throughout the country, including the Shadowwood 16 cinemas west of Boca Raton.
First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, this is actually the 3rd multiplex location in the city to shutter in just 2 months. One in College Point, Queens will close on May 7th, and another in Jamaica, Queens next Tuesday.
That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
Screens will permanently fade to black at 3 Marcus theaters this month. The Southgate Cinema in Milwaukee closes Tuesday, and there's only 2 weeks left to catch a flick at Showtime and Saukville Cinemas.
Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now.
Some unfortunate news to share with movie lovers in Johnston. The AMC Classic Theater now has permanently closed.
Regal Cinemas has not officially commented on the closure, but this is a trend we're seeing across the country.
One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
One of Little Rock's longest-standing movie theaters is shutting its doors.
And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film.
Hall Cinema 7 had been there for 15 years. That location was a movie theater for many years before that. A lot of people who live in the area are pretty upset to see it go.
It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
In other news we're watching tonight, the end credits could be rolling now, soon, on the only major movie theater in Madisonville.
Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
With the theater closing, people in Lunenburg County will now have to travel an hour away to Halifax or New Minas if they want to get the full theater experience.
Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us.
Not to say I'm not a big fan of blockbuster movies. I will go watch, a turn your brain off blockbuster movie. It's just that I don't want to go watch something that has absolutely no substance to it whatsoever. So I think we are all going to be marching towards a future where our entertainment is pretty much consumed at home and not out in the world. We really did not recover from the pandemic whatsoever. I really didn't care for Dominion all that much. Not to say anything less for the other two Jurassic World movies either. A lot of film buffs did not like the Jurassic World series. And to be fair, they kind of weren't really necessary. They were a soft reboot in a way. So you know what I'm saying? But either way, today we're going to be taking a look at the original trailer for Jurassic Park. And then we're going to be taking a look at the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. We're bringing back David Koepp, or David Koepp. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, the original screenwriter for Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park. And I'm hoping that with him on board as screenwriter, we can get back to what really made the Jurassic franchise Jurassic, they bring back that soul that some of the world movies really kind of seem to be missing for whatever reason. They're not terrible movies, they're just more or less in the same ballpark as some of these superhero movies. You know what I mean. You're not eating good, you're eating fast food. The fast food of movies.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
The most phenomenal discovery of our time.
How'd you do this?
Becomes the greatest adventure of all time.
Can I touch it?
Sure.
Universal Pictures presents.
You feel that?
Hold on to your butts.
A Steven Spielberg film.
Fences are failing all over the park. Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go.
An adventure.
Look out! Down! I can't get Jurassic Park back online.
65 million years in the making. Jurassic Park.
June 11th. That's what I was saying before. I thought each Jurassic movie was June, but apparently not. And you'll notice that this trailer, it's almost looks like it come off of VHS. It's on the Universal website, but I guess they don't bother shooting or didn't bother making TV spots and trailers look super I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't look touched up or cleaned up. It looks like the original print from back in the day. Which I'll be honest with you, I don't remember seeing these TV spots as a kid. I just remember going to the theater to see it. And it's funny because I vaguely remember my experience in the theater. Honestly, I don't really remember my experience in the theater to be that completely honest with you. I more remember the time after Jurassic Park. You know, I remember the summer after. I remember the toys. I remember trying to play with the toys inside and outside. That's more what my memories lean towards, are all the good times after. But it is neat to kind of go back and look at the original trailer, because not only does it kind of give you an idea of what trailers look like for each Jurassic movie, it even gives you kind of a snapshot of what trailers looked like back then. It gave you just enough without spoiling, which is more than what I can say about some trailers today.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett, our mission specialist. Sorry, what mission?
This would be a medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
Oh my God. Fortunately for us, all these species exist in one isolated place. Can you be ready tomorrow?
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less? He's your guy?
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
Move up towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs. Do we have to get a sample from an egg? I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
These dinosaurs were too dangerous for the original park. Please don't say they're raptors. They're raptors. The worst of the worst. We're left here.
Come on! Duncan!
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong. Survival is a long shot.
What the hell are those?
They're helping the mosasaur defend territory, stalk, hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
So I'm pretty excited about Jurassic World Rebirth. It feels like it's going back to basics, and I know everybody keeps saying that. And there's definitely a lot of cynicism to be had from people when it comes to Jurassic. There's definitely a lot of cynicism on my end too, but I'm trying to suspend that cynicism, not just with this film, but in my own personal life. I'm trying to get back to just enjoying things with childlike wonder. I just want to be happy again. You know, I'm middle-aged now. The original came out when I was like 7, 8 years old, 9 years old, somewhere in there. I'm 40 now, and the franchise has endured, but it's not endured without its ups and downs. And when I see this, it looks good. Not only is it shot on film, but you brought back David Koepp, however you'd like to pronounce that, the original screenwriter for Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park. So I'm fairly confident that it's going to be good. I just hope they don't rely too heavily on the CGI, you know. I am pretty excited for any kind of I guess I'm a little excited for Easter eggs, as long as it's not heavily, heavy-handed and too in your face. I'm definitely excited for any kind of story turns that we don't see in the trailer. I'm pretty excited to see what species that they didn't show in the trailer and that we haven't seen through marketing of the toys and stuff. There's got to be one or two critters in there that didn't show up in any of the marketing. The so-called Distortus Rex looks very interesting. I can't wait to check that bad boy out. I definitely hope the time and care that should be taken was taken to get this series back on track where it needs to be. And when I say that, that implies that it's off track or terrible. Not necessarily. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Dominion, but I needed the series to head in a new direction. I needed it to go somewhere else and be more and do more. And I'm hoping that Rebirth will do just that. It's a whole new set, whole new cast, new set of characters. Anytime you can put us in a situation where we get to learn about new people instead of just carrying the same cast for 3 whole movies. Not that I had anything against, Claire. I like Claire Dearing. I think there was definitely some Chris Pratt fatigue, but Maisie's story was pretty interesting. If she doesn't come back at some point in the series, I would be a little surprised. I don't know if they're going to do a new trilogy out of this. They keep saying a dawn of a new era, rebirth, all of that. It leads me to believe that, these movies are making Universal a lot of money. And obviously companies are going to, as long as something's making money, they're going to go with it, but, and keep making them. I just hope that it's done right, and I hope it's done well. But the trailer looks good. It's got everything that a Jurassic trailer needs. And we will go back and look at the other trailers for the film, but I just wanted to kind of get this out there and show you guys the trailer in case you haven't seen it. It's definitely worth checking out, because at this point, movie theaters are kind of on the decline and kind of dead. I don't know what else I can say. Movie theaters are pretty much... They didn't really recover after the pandemic, and the whole Minecraft movie thing, with people kind of tearing the theaters apart, that wasn't great. So, but anyway, I think that's going to wrap things up here for us for today. I've got a whole Jurassic Park playlist that it's going to sit here and go through. But thank you guys so much for checking out the original trailer and checking out Rebirth's trailer. If you do have some time this summer and you just want to get out of the house and do something, I recommend going to the theaters and seeing it. Maybe you didn't watch any of the Jurassic World movies. Maybe you haven't dipped a toe in the series for a long time. This is the perfect place to pick it back up and watch again. I can't recommend that angle enough. But, everybody this day and age, especially with millennials, given the world that we inherited and the shit show that's kind of been dumped in our lap, that we're supposed to clean up and hand to the next generation, we kind of struggle with depression and to find that little modicum of happiness that gets us by. So, the other generations, boomers and the greatest generation, as they're called and whatnot, they make fun of us a lot for not growing up. You got toys and you got your Star Wars and your superheroes and your Minecrafts and your Spider-Mans. Yeah, a lot of our generation is struggling with life and having these hobbies of, in the entertainment industry is kind of helping us remain sane. Not to mention, we understand a lot more about the human psyche now than we did 20 years ago, 50, 100 years ago. I learn new terms all the time. Like, we now know that a lot of different things, a lot of different angles with the human psyche is basically about being on a spectrum, so to speak. So, if you're on the social medias, you'll hear people talk about your hyperfixation because you're autistic or on the spectrum. Whatever you might think about that, the fact is it doesn't harm anything to have a a nice, respectable hobby to fill your spare time with. It keeps you busy. It keeps your mind busy, and everybody's got that one franchise. You know what I mean? Everybody's got that one that means a lot to them. And I think that Rebirth looks like it's showing me evidence that they might be taking care of it in a proper way, because a lot of times you lose that because companies just care about the bottom dollar, you know, so they might not care to do it right all of the time. But anywho, I'd recommend it. I'm going to go see it myself in theaters, and I never go to the theater anymore. But stay tuned for more upcoming Jurassic Park and Jurassic World videos on the channel. If you are so inclined to do so, you can follow me on Blue Sky, now on Mastodon as well. You can stay up to date with what I'm, the videos I'm putting out and whatnot. That would be helpful if you follow me over there. All right, for those of you who like to hang around, I'll see you guys in the Discord. For the rest of you, I'll see you in the next video. See you, folks.